Hello, this is Jamie Benson, and for my Google Docs presentation I chose to do a lesson called Tessellations. It is a visual art lesson completed by 5th graders. During the lesson, students will be learning about the life and work of famous optical artist M.C. Escher. They will be learning about the complementary colors and will be creating a tessellation. Here we see a few examples of student artwork for this project. According to the Sunshine State Standards, the project will meet content relating to skills and techniques. In skills and techniques, the students will be organizing two-dimensional media. They will be learning techniques and uses of art tools. They will be using the tools in a proper manner. Students will be organizing the elements and principles of design with the tessellation project. They will be applying good craftsmanship to their projects. In creation and communication, students will understand what makes art media, techniques, and processes different. Under the cultural and historical standard, students will understand the similarities and differences in works of art from a variety of sources. For aesthetic and critical analysis, they will develop criteria for the evaluation of artwork using appropriate vocabulary. For applications to life, students will know the types of tasks performed by various optical artists and the required training involved. In accordance with the National Technology Standards and Performance Indicators for students, students will apply existing knowledge to generate new ideas, products, or processes. They will create original artworks as a means of expression, and they will use models and simulations to explore complex issues. This will be done using the Shortor website. Students will also plan and manage activities to develop a solution to complete a project. Using the Shortor website, students are deciding on the complementary color scheme for their artwork. According to the NETS for teachers, I will promote and support innovative thinking and inventiveness. I will promote student collaboration through the creative process. Students will gain a knowledge about the life and work of M.C. Escher. We will be discussing his artwork and training. The students will apply learned skills to make a unique tessellation artwork. Students will identify and apply knowledge of complementary colors. Students will analyze and self-evaluate completed projects, and the students will use interactive websites to create tessellations. In preparation to the lesson, I will be gathering the art materials which will be used. I will be cutting up a white cardstock 4 inches by 4 inches. I will cut white paper 12 inches by 12 inches. I will supply scissors, masking tape, pencils, colored markers thin and thick, and I will prepare images on the computer of M.C. Escher's work. I will be preparing the websites for my lesson, which will be displayed on the projector, and I will also be preparing the student computers for 5-minute interactive website lessons. Students will be actively participating by observing the lesson I present at the start of class. They will be analyzing the work of M.C. Escher and other optical artists. Students will actively be applying knowledge during the construction of their artwork. Each student will partake in a maximum 5-minute interactive tessellation creation website. For the learning impaired students, I will be supplying pre-drawn cards. Each student will have a completed sample card at their desk as they work for them to reference from. For the gifted students, I will offer a more difficult patterning project. I will observe and assist to ensure that the level is suitable and obtainable for each student. The lesson can be adapted for various grade levels. There are many different methods to create tessellation patterns. The grade level will determine the level of advancement. For the assessment and evaluation, the students will be graded according to the following checklist. Students will complete a unique tessellation artwork. Students will color artwork containing 2 complementary colors of their choice. Students will contribute to a class demonstration where they will analyze and self-evaluate completed projects, and the students will complete a 5-minute session on a tessellation website. Okay, now let's get to the lesson. As an introduction, I will be displaying an artwork on the projector which was done by M.C. Escher. I will allow the students to offer ideas as to what the image is about. I will encourage a discussion about the artwork. For instance, I will ask, what do these images look like? What do you think the colors, why they used the colors they used? How do they think the artist made the artwork? After the discussion, I will talk about the key terms listed: M.C. Escher, optical art; tessellation; primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow; secondary colors, which are green, purple, and orange; and the complementary colors, which are orange and blue, yellow and purple, and green and red. What is a tessellation? A tessellation is created when a shape is repeated over and over again, covering a plane without any gaps or overlaps. Another word for tessellation is a tiling. The word tessellate means to form or arrange small squares in a checkered or mosaic pattern. The word tessellate is derived from the version of the Greek word tesseris, which in English means four. The first tilings were made from square tiles. Next, I will demonstrate how to create a tessellation using the Shodor website. This is the website they will be using during their student computer time. Okay, here are the steps to create the project. Each student will be supplied with a 4-inch by 4-inch square piece of cardstock paper. First, they must draw a line across the paper, any shape they want, but it must go from edge to edge. Next, they need to draw a second random line on the paper, and I always tell the students to try to make them perpendicular to make sure that the lines intersect and cross each other, and this line must also go from edge to edge of the page. I always like to have my students number their pieces before they cut them out. So here we see I put number 1 in this shape, number 2, 3, and 4. Then the students cut out on their lines, and now they have 4 separate pieces of paper. They will take an eraser and erase any leftover pencil marks that were left on their tessellation pattern. Now they need to place the pieces together so that the corners of the squares are in the center. So you can see here I have an example on the board. They must line up their numbers the same way my numbers are lined up, and then putting the corners together in the center. Now they will be taping their pieces together using tape, and then they will also decide what they believe their shape looks like. That's up to them. Now they will be tracing their tessellation pattern onto the larger piece of paper using a pencil. And as they start tracing, they'll notice that they do fit together like puzzle pieces if they lay them side by side or above each other or below each other. And it'll be fitting. They should fit perfectly if they are done correctly. Now they will color in the shapes using the complementary colors of their choice. So they may use the color scheme red and green, or blue and orange, or yellow and purple. Here I have green and like a pinkish color, which is a version of red. So I use the yellow or the red and green combination for my complementary colors. And here are some student examples of completed projects. You can see here the student believed their shapes created a goldfish. This student here believed their tessellation pattern created a profile of a monkey. And down here we see a frog. Over here, if you can tell, it's supposed to be a pig's face. This is supposed to be a dinosaur. This is a ghost. So those are a few projects completed. And for the summary and conclusion, this lesson incorporates connections to social studies and mathematics. Students that may not understand the concept will be assisted with the computer-generated tessellation maker. This will enhance the art making experience. Here I have my list of references. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my lesson.